All right, hey everyone, it's October the 27th, the year 2016. A letter came in the P.O. box today from Russel Dean Landers. He was in the Freeman Montana standoff in the 1990s, been in prison over 21 years. And I'm going to read to you. Also, I've opened up a core links with him, so it's kind of coincidental that they take my core links away with Schaefer Cox, but they open it back up with I just opened it brand new with Russel Landers. But he wrote some quote on the outside of the envelope. It's a big brown envelope, and let me say that his writing is immaculate. Although I say it's you have to. I'll take a picture of it maybe, and it'll be part of the screen. It's going to be hard for me to read at times because even though it is very, very neat, sometimes the letters are hard to make out. It's hard to explain, but once you see the picture, you may know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to read to you his core links. I'm going to read to you what he wrote on the envelope, and then he sent me some pages. And if you not interested in Russel Dean Landers or the Freeman Montana standoff, then you don't have to listen, right? But he's got a message, and I'm going to get it out. I don't know what I'm fixing to get into. If it gets into personal stuff and it's obviously not for the public, obviously I will edit that out. But we'll just see together, right? Okay. He wrote me a letter on core links, and I asked him if he needed a large print Bible, and he said, "Dear Rudy and Aaron, thank God for your every effort to share the good news. The word is the way, and surely it is time all receive it. It is my hope that my sharing will in some way give further light. Yes, large print would be best. I have had the same eyeglasses that I had 14 years ago, and those they provide here are still of less value than those that I have. You are in my heart and prayers. May the love of Christ be the light of the way for us all. His blessing sure bless you each and all. With the love of Christ, Rex Russel Dean." He puts Rex in front of his name a lot. And, Schaefer often says Lex Rex all the time, too. On the back of his envelope, he says, "Things turn out best for the people who make the best of the way things turn out." And then he also wrote, "Look to our source of strength, not at the menacing problem." Philippians 2:14 and 15, he quotes that verse. Now I'm going to get into the actual letter. He has an incredible artwork here. He drew a picture of himself and his, I guess, wife. It's just an incredible piece of art. I could not draw like this. He's wearing a cowboy hat, and so is she. They got big old smiles on their faces. And maybe I'll take a picture of that and put it on the screen. It's Rex Russel Dean Landers and Dana Dudley Landers, March 1994. "We had this photo taken at MGM Walt Disney World, Orlando, Florida. We had a break from having done seminars, small and large, daily, sometimes 2 or 3 people per day from Maine to San Diego, Tacoma to Orlando, showing people the challenges facing America and means of turning it around. Blessing we the people. We were settling a wide variety of legal problems for people, traveling with computer, fax, and working it into the nights for freeing people from corrupt legal assaults. People loved us. The system, false God, hates people having truth and certainly hated us. Hates and hated us. I grew up in farming and ranching in northeast Iowa, Butler County. We had cattle, horses, row crops, and lots of hay. We were at St. Peter's Lutheran Church every time the doors were open in Green. I started school at age 4 in a one-room school. There were 2 first graders, and I was the only kindergarten student, so I was a first grader right off. Smiley face. We had hats, boots, and cat pistols. And then he mentions a little quote down here: "The truth needs no defense, and the lie has none." That's pretty good. February 16th, 2008. Page 2. Our family, especially the men, were outdoors people. Hunting and fishing started from walking age. Marksmen and adventurers. My Uncle Leo, Dad's youngest brother, was in Italy during the latter days of World War II, but came home to our rural home as soon as the war was over. As soon as that was over, he invested a lot of time in me and was a very positive influence. It was not easy when at 55 he went home with the Lord with colon cancer. Some things surely help us build strength. Dana and I devoted our 3-volume America First Basics of Law manuals to him and Bill Gould, founder of the Equinox International, 1994. The infidels truly hated so much the truth doled out in seminars. In March 1994 at York, Pennsylvania, I was appointed as circuit judge for Circuit of North America. As registered in York, noticed to Administrator of Court Service for the Courts of the United States, and notice to William Rehnquist, Chief Justice, U.S. Supreme Court. This began an all-out assault on us. We were Voice of Freedom with Reverend Jim Nichols, Red Jim, Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, CBN station of CBN in St. Paul, Minnesota, and a 6-hour series of recording on the Mayan Magazine TV program Around Town in Greensboro, North Carolina. Numerous radio appearances, God's enemies wronged ours. We were on Satan's hit list for certain. Oh, God's enemies and ours. Maybe, I don't know. We were on Satan's hit list for certain. My father taught me from an early age, right is right. This did not allow me, as we learned of seemingly endless corruption, to simply sit back and let Satan's destruction John 10:10 roll. John 10:10 roll. Thus we more and more with prayer and faith applied knowledge of law versus legal for contending with those who forsake the law. Proverbs 28:4. Page 3. My wife Dana, who was my constant companion before all of this persecution, is my second wife. She was born in Riverside, California, and due to circumstances grew up from 9 in Chicago with her 3 brothers and sister, her mother and grandmother. Her grandfather and grandmother were from Norway, and her wonderful grandmother was a blessed mentor whose positive Christian influence on my dear Dana was forever a blessing. There are a lot of things to fill in. Hopefully over time we will be able to do so. For now, Dana was terrorized with over 3 years of false imprisonment in Montana and Colorado as a result of the vicious assaults on us. She has to return to our home area in and around Irwin, North Carolina. I think it's ERWIN, without me, and suffer ruthless persecution for forcing us apart. For about 3 years, she could never speak with me by phone. There have been times when we could not dare write, over 6 years now total. And as her and for good and faithful people, we working on my lawful liberation, all 4 plus her have been disappeared for over 3 years now. I need to read that again. That sounds pretty ominous. And as her and for good and faithful people, as her and 4 good and faithful people were working on my lawful liberation, all 4 plus her have been disappeared for over 3 years now. We are certainly in the Lord's hands all the way. Then he puts a cowboy hat. Wow, 4 faithful people were disappeared is what he writes. That sounds very ominous. Then there's a calendar for the month of November of 2016. Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. The truth can never be compromised or it is lost. I like that one. We are not the wind, we are the branches it shapes. Ye chosen seed of Israel's race, ye ransomed from the fall, bring forth his royal diadem and crown him Lord of all. There is no hope for the light of the light of the truth shining through the willfully blind. Fear the antithesis of faith. Okay. Okay, it's got a couple more pages here, I think. Let me read those. Oh, it's more than a couple. Hold on a second. Yeah. It's 4 more pages. I tell you what, let's make these 2 different videos because they're 2 different letters, I can tell. All right, so I'll just call the first one the Russel Dean Landers story. All right, I'll do a second video too. God bless.